world where equality is just another euphemism for mediocrity, where participation is more highly valued than achievement, where just enough to get by is the new standard of excellence. There is a small minority of people who fight back against such apathy, who struggle daily to reach new heights. These brave few are the hope for the future, the bright shining light for the next generation. They are the ones who will lead us to the places we have never dreamed of, to the undiscovered country, to reach goals only a few can even begin to imagine. Unfortunately, none of those people could be here tonight, so kick back and relax. Prepare yourself for several hours of fun, friendship, fascinating conversation, and fabulous music. All those F's have an alliteration and kind of a radio trick. Speaking of radio, you're listening to the most popular radio station in the history of broadcast radio, at least among stations that originate from Chris's living room. It's Curious Times. Your host is a curious listener. Here she is, Chris.
All right. Hey, everybody. Welcome to Curious Times. It's Wednesday night, first Wednesday of the month, which means Barbara DeLong is here. May 3rd. Can you even believe it? I cannot believe it's May 3rd. And in another month, I can put my snow shovel away. Yay! And so anyway, Barbara's here. She's ready to roll. I'm going to talk with Barbara. We'll see, like, maybe we can squeeze in a reading or something if there's somebody there. I think there's somebody there asking. But we can also just have discussion. I'm going to lay it on Barbara how psychic I was that one moment in time. Barbara hasn't seen how the miracle that was my psychic mediumship moment in time. And then it went poof, gone. Poof, gone. Poof, poof, gone. Okay. What's coming up? Assuming that the people come, can you guys all hear me okay? Can you hear me okay? Testing. Can you hear me okay? Yes? I just want to make sure. Is it good? Thanks. Okay. Because sometimes people can't hear me. My mic is so low or something. Hi, Astrid. Nice to see you back again. I have to catch up with you one of these days. Let's get to the right month. Barbara, Amy's here tomorrow. Selva's here Friday. Kimber is here on Saturday. Hillary Black is here on Sunday. Monday. Ouch. Day off. I stabbed my hand the other day, and so doing sudden things like that is really stupid because it kind of hurts. It looks really little and harmless, but it hurts like the dickens. I said dickens. Yes, I did. Melissa Bruce is here Tuesday, and a week from tonight it's Kathleen Moore, and so that's what's going to happen in the next week. It's so nice to see you, Astrid. I've been missing you, and we should connect on Skype soon one of these days. Astrid also then gets to hear how amazingly psychic mediumshiply I was recently on the show, and all the rest of you guys have to listen to it again. Okay, so Barbara, you guys all know Barbara, but just in case there's people listening in the archives or on some of the other platforms that intuitalks.com broadcast to, Barbara's been doing this forever. She's been doing this probably around about as long as I've been alive. And like I'm about 29, right? Just kidding. I'll leave it to you to guess my age, but yeah. Anyway, she has been the host of her own show for many years as well on a number of different platforms. She basically calls it Nightlight, and she's on currently at Revolution Radio or Freedom Slips, and you can find that at freedomslips.com. She's created her own oracle deck called the Cosmic. That's not good. That was my native spirit cards that went whack. Okay, the Cosmic Deck of Initiation, and the really cool thing. Okay, trivia for my regular people. What's the one unique thing about this deck that is so unique? Answer. Who gets 10 points? Who gets 10 points? Come on now, one of you guys knows the answer to this question. What makes these cards so unique? Besides that they were created by Barbara. Yes, they're round. Yes. see, I got regular listeners that listen. They actually listen. And so it's a very awesome concept to have round cards because, everything is a circle. The circle of life, everything is a circle. And so I like that. That's a stroke of brilliance that Barbara DeLong had when she created that. And now I have to put it back together, put it back where it belongs, and then we will carry on. She's created that deck. She also has written a book called Whispers of Spiritual Wisdom. You can find both the deck and the book on Amazon. So just go to Amazon and do a search for Barbara DeLong. That's how I should go. Maybe over 50 years experience now. It's been long enough now that we can say over 50. But she's been helping people, giving guidance and amazing readings. You can also find a plethora of research information that will keep you busy for hours and weeks and months if you read it all on her website. It's really quite amazing, the stuff she has. And you can find that at barbaradelong.com. And there's a YouTube video that she was part of narrating and whatnot called the documentary called Secrets of the Stones. And you can find that on YouTube, and then just either do the search for Secrets of the Stones or search for the thank you, Barbara. Search for the user Oracle Tracker, but it might be easier for you to just do the search on YouTube for Secrets of the Stones. I should get that in echo reverb, Secrets of the Stones, and have it reverb. Okay. Anyway, here comes Barbara. Hi, Barbara.
Hello. So how were you psychic?
Oh my God, you got to hear this. Hang on, you got to hear this. You got to hear this, Barbara. Now,
I'm waiting.
I know, but you have to bear with me now. I have to remember where did I put the damn thing. Okay. I'm going to say just a search for it.
Do you not remember it?
I just don't know where I filed it. Where did I... Oh my goodness, where did it go? Where did it go? I wonder if I put it in my... How are you, Barbara, while I look for that? How are you?
Oh, yeah, I'm fine. I just... Do you not remember how you were psychic? So you could tell
no, I do. Because I want you to just hear it the way it happened. You know what I mean? I want you to be amazed.
Okay.
At how it happened. And so I just have to... I'll be amazed at how I can find the damn thing first. Okay. Okay, what? Okay, it might be, here we go. Check this. Be amazed. Be very amazed.
I'm ready.
This is clipped right from the show. And, there's a little bit of a lead-in part. I'm having a discussion with Mary Margaret, and we're talking about her K2 meter, her EMF meter. And she's trying, and I'm trying to do a little bit of experimenting with her on it. And so here you go. Can the thing not be affected by electronics as well? And
yeah, but it's sitting at the end of the desk, and it doesn't go off. Yeah, it's anything electric, like even a phone, but it's sitting by it.
Right.
Okay.
Well, that's.
So I have a visitor. There it went.
Cool.
Yeah.
Tell them to do the dishes while they're there and make some use out of themselves.
Oh, my digital recorder, Renee? Yeah, I was sitting here talking. I when I asked if it was my mom, it went off. It just kept going boom, 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 back and forth, back and forth, and back and forth.
Cool.
Oh, I have Lauren, and it's awesome. I don't know if I got batteries in my. I'm trying to think of where it is. I wasn't prepared. I was, no, I don't know what I did with that. Oh, Renee, now I'll have to get it out and search. Now, I've, a couple times on a holiday around Christmas this year, I didn't get anything. Nothing. So they must have been busy, but now it's back to green. Oh, now it went up to yellow, and the only one above that's red. Stu said, Mom, if that's you, go up to red, and it didn't. And I was so aggravated. I go, oh, come on, just for once.
Yeah. Oh, that's interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Well, so start asking questions. Start testing it now, then.
Okay. All right. Is anybody here with me now? Green light. And the second one. Mom, is that you? If it's you, could you make the lights go up to the third one? Clay, is it you? You honorary brother-in-law?
It's Washington. Oh, that's Dan. You're unmuted, Dan.
Oh, am I?
Yeah.
Am I making all kinds of noise?
No, you sound very awesome and sexy.
Oh. Wait till you see what I'm wearing.
Mom, is that you?
I remote view, so I can see what you're not wearing.
Okay, let's light it up to you. Yellow for Chris. You're on the radio. Come on, Mom.
Well, first of all, how about if you say, let's find a better way to test it.
Okay.
I don't know stuff. This is this is a new thing for me. So, if it's, okay, say if it's anybody but my mom, if you're not my mom, do nothing. You know what I mean? If you're not my mom, don't do anything.
Okay. If you're not my mom, don't light anything up. Back away. Till I count to 10. 1, 2. Nope. The three bleeping together. Now it's back to 1.
So now, test it again. See if it's mom.
Okay, Mom, if it's you, I need you to blink twice. The second and third one.
It's read my mind. Make it blink a few times.
There's 1, 2, and it went up to the red one, and stopped.
Okay, so then after true. So now, if it's true that my name is Patricia Davis, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Or then light up.
You're not going to believe that. You know what? Patricia Davis is my cousin that passed away.
No way!
Oh my God! Yes. Is it Pat? Is it Pat? Oh my God! Is it Pat Newell that passed? Pat Davis? Oh, I got chills. No. Mom, is Pat there? Oh, that's creepy. Patricia Davis Newell was my cousin that died 2 years ago today. It's on my Facebook. There's a wreath. I will post it. There's a wreath that I put on.
Oh my God!
She just said, "Oh, this is freaky." Okay, wait a minute. I gotta go give my husband a shot. I'll be right back.
So anyway, it goes on, and the idea is, I know. I may as well have said Jane Doe. I should have said Jane Doe. You know what I mean, Barbara?
Very
and
cool.
I just threw this out, and you could tell her reaction. Like she was just like, she was speechless for a quick second there, and so yeah, that was a miracle of her cousin. I guess took advantage of my voice and made me spit it out. You know what I mean?
Very cool.
She goes on to say that what she meant by that it was on Facebook was, you know how privately you receive on your page your anniversary memories, like 1 year ago today or 2 years ago today, this thing happened. So it's not that it was posted anywhere, and I don't go looking on Facebook anyway, but it wasn't posted publicly. And so I just threw the name Patricia out, and then I was just like, Davis, you know what I mean? And that was so funny. Anyway, so there you go.
Very cool.
One moment in time. One moment in time.
Well, you have to be right at least once.
There you go. I quit while I'm ahead.
Well, when I do spirit circles and I get somebody's name and it's like, I'm quitting now because I'm ahead. I'm not going to get any better than this.
Yeah, I think. So, you've been busy.
I've been very busy.
Yes, and you have this. So tell us everything and talk about that meditation group thing.
It really happened actually on my radio show. I had Bill Brown on my show. He's an amazing man, and he just about has lived on the Giza Plateau for the last number of years. He's an archaeologist, among other things, and he's been working with mapping the Giza Plateau, and he's used ground penetrating radar, and he's kind of marked a whole bunch of spots that he feels are places where there may be more tombs and things like that. To be honest, we haven't even scratched the surface of the Giza Plateau. There are so many underground chambers and everything in the plateau that it's profound. And so he's been mapping those with ground penetrating radar. He's been working also with a Japanese archaeological team as well. And he's also been working with star maps, and he's been able to overlay the Giza Plateau with a star map. And through the star map seemed to fall on a lot of places where he found anomalies. So he finally found a star map that is very accurate, and he's mapped 33 places that have vortexes or energy shifts and flows, or there's something going on there energetically. And he just kind of said offhand, if anybody wants to go to the Giza Plateau and find the walking map to all these places, I'd be happy to share it with them. And then we had a break, and after we came back from the break, I said, well, not all of us can afford to go to the Giza Plateau and spend a couple of weeks there wandering around saying, ooh, feel the energy. But I said, why don't you Google map it and then go in through a meditation and get whatever information you want to from there. And so after the show, he called me and he said, that was brilliant. You opened up something amazing to me. And I said, well, I think it would be better if you had a whole group of people that were going in, that were together, that were focusing on that same point and went in through meditation and brought out, after a meditation, give you all the information they got to help you determine where your next dig is. And he said, well, can you put a group together? And I said, can I put a group together? I said, yeah, I can put a group together. And so Star Point Meditation Group was born. And we haven't actually had our first meeting yet or anything, but there are close to 30 people, and they're all over the world. And what we'll do is they'll be given the Google Map coordinates for the point or the vortex that we're going to be going into. We will do a meditation on Blog Talk Radio. It'll be a Blog Talk show, but private, so that unless you've signed up for it, you're not going to be able to even listen to it or anything. And so I will lead the meditation. I will take people in. And the first one we're going to go into is the Tomb of Osiris. and he's positive he has that one attached. And the cool thing is there are secret chambers and stuff like that in the tomb. So that's, that will be a main focus. We'll give people some time, to work on their own, and then I'll bring everybody back and give people time to write down or jot down sort of the notes they got, and then we will share them on the show in the archive. And he'll use those notes and give us feedback. There's a magazine, and you'd think I would remember the name of it, but I don't. I'll shuffle through papers here. I'll probably be able to figure out. It's a metaphysical magazine online, and they asked if they could publish the invitation to join. And, I said, certainly, I got no problem. And the only thing they asked, it's called Psychic Magic, is the name of the magazine online. And so they're putting out the invitation for people to join in the meditation and in this experience. A number of people have said, I asked everybody what day and times are best for you, what should I avoid, and because of the people in Australia and South Africa and the UK, it's the meditation will be between 3 and 5 on Thursdays. And a couple of people wrote and said, oh, I work and I can't go then. And I said, wait a minute, don't back out. If you're in the group, you can pull the archive. You can do the meditation with us. You can go in with us. You can get your information and you can share it with us. You can send it to us. So you can still be a part of this, even though you may not be able to be free at between 3 and 5. Once you're in the group meditation energy, you're fine. You're golden. Yeah. So it's really, it's going to be very exciting. And so anybody who's interested, and you don't have to be a meditator. There are enough heavy-duty meditators already involved, so that even if you're just a beginner or you've never even meditated, so long as it's a led meditation, so you're not, you don't shut your eyes and just go off willy-nilly. You will be taken to where you will be released in the tomb itself, so that, and then I will bring you back. So it's nothing to be upset about it or anything. It will be a cool experience, no matter what level of meditator, if you are a meditator. So if you want to be a part of it, we haven't had I've sent information out. You have to download Google Earth. You have to be a member of Blog Talk Radio so you can get in and be in the chat room so you can share and talk. But this is the week that everybody's supposed to be done with that part of it. Next week we will have a meet and greet. Bill and I will be there, and people can come in and talk to us, and we'll talk about what we're going to be doing. He was very excited. He's into metaphysics. He's done channeling. He's done all sorts of stuff. And at one point I said to him, if you want to lead the meditation, I'm fine. He said, oh, no. He said, I just want to go for the ride. I said, all right. But the cool thing is there are 33 spots that he has found here on the Giza Plateau. But he's been all over the world to all sorts of other sites of ancient architecture and archaeological stuff, so that if this works, if this gives him really good and valid information and insight, then he'll just take us all around the world to other magical sites, and we will do distant viewing into all of them.
Awesome. That's great.
So my email is barbara.delong@gmail.com. If anybody's interested and wants to become involved, just contact me. I'll send you the information that I've sent out already, and you can. Oh, thank you. And you can join the group. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah, sounds great. Very interesting.
Yeah,
very interesting. Plus, there's time. Time kind of doesn't exist anyway, right?
Exactly.
So, yeah. Interesting.
And there are heavy-duty people that have suddenly decided, ooh, I want to be a part of that. So even if one or two of them only shows up, and we have a group of, there are at this point about 30 people in the group, and I just figure people will come when they can, or they will listen in archive and do it that way. It's a really, really interesting thing, and to my knowledge, something like this has not been done. It may have been done, I just don't know about it.
Right. I mean, we've all heard of those efforts where great numbers of people from around the world get together and all do a meditation about peace or about something like this during a time of trouble. But yeah, I mean, as to everybody going and exploring an area, I haven't heard of it either, like with that kind of an intent behind it, It sounds like a really cool idea.
Well, the cool thing is that while there are other tombs, there are also, he doesn't believe, not for a minute, that the Great Pyramid was meant as a burial. It was meant to be an initiation chamber. And so, and he explains all of that, and it's really fascinating, because I've never believed that it was a tomb either. It didn't have, first of all, the passageways go up, and tombs, the passageways would go down. And there is water at the very bottom of the pyramid, so that the water was used as a generator, as in some way, shape, or form. But he has been in the chamber that is underneath the Sphinx. He's been in a lot of places that he can't quite talk about because he gets in trouble when he does. So he has the keys to. There are lots and lots of tunnels underneath the causeway that goes from the Sphinx to the Great Pyramid, and some of them the Egyptologists will not let him put the ground penetrating radar over. So that in some ways, some of the tunnels have been used by black ops too. So there's a lot of cool stuff going on. So you just never know what we'll come up with.
Right. Yeah. Very interesting stuff. Very interesting stuff. The things that happen when people get together and just like talk out loud, think out loud, all started from him just being on your show, eh?
Well, when he said, if you're going to the Giza Plateau, I'd be happy to share this map with you, and I thought, yeah, I'm going to the Giza Plateau. But I said to him, why not remote viewing? No sand, no dirt, all clean.
Yeah. No getting shot in the streets.
No scorpions, no nothing. Because since Hawass, who was the head of Egyptology in Egypt, is out of power, I said to him, do you have greater access? He said, no, the security is much, much tighter. As a matter of fact, they dig stuff up, take pictures, and then cover it up again. So they're hiding a lot of stuff, which is really fascinating.
Interesting.
And,
well, I guess I'll have to keep up to date with you on that. And see
you could always sign up for it and then go into the meditation when you could.
I know. I could. I'm one of those that just I hate meditating. I hate meditating. I hate it, and I can't.
The meditation's only going to be like about 15, 20 minutes. It's not going to be long.
I know. I mean, I could try. But like the first thing I always say is that the worst kind of meditation for me is the guided meditation, because I always the way I put it is like I'm always like waiting, still waiting to hear the gate creak while they're already into the forest and around the mountain, and and I'm like, I have all this pressure. I have great success with meditating on using binaural beats and not like doing a journey per se. To a specified location.
Well, the great thing about a group meditation is that, first of all, it's a combination of everybody's energy.
Right.
So you're not just using your own energy, you're using everybody's energy. You're carried along with a flow. Going into a power vortex increases and stretches awareness. So that it's in many ways, it's got lots of different benefits, and one of them is if you're not able to get somewhere in meditation with that many people, you go there in spite of yourself. I mean, it's not scary if you don't want to go, if you don't want to do it. You just don't. You wake up, you go to the refrigerator, and you get a snack and come back to listen to what everybody got. But it's something. It's an experience, and for those who have never done distant viewing, it's to be carried along with a lot of people who do know what they're doing. It gives you an idea as to what it feels like and what it is. So it even if you don't give a damn about Egypt, it's a great experience because, I mean, lots of people have responded whose names I could say, and you would all go, "Oh, really?" Not saying them, but if you do join
I know then people will join because that person's there and they want to be seen by that person or something.
Exactly. Not going to drop the big names, and there are a lot of big ones.
Yeah, I hear you. And that's cool. So that sounds very, very exciting. I love anything new and creative like that. I think that's a great thing. And because we don't need to be restrained by the limits of our physical environments and everything like that, especially where we're all, any of us that are listening together and communing together on these shows, we're already well aware, that we're only restricted by what our mind tells us we can and can't do, and so that's sometimes it's just to get the idea, to get that creative idea is really the first step, just like whenever I first was taking Reiki, I mean, like I never ever thought about sending energy to the past or the future, and I never ever thought about like sending healing to Mother Earth, and or to a tree or anything like that. And so, like, what it did was it helped expand my understanding and imagination of how it could be used. It doesn't have to just be, oh, your dog has a broken leg or your husband, has, whatever. And so it can be used for more than just healing people or whatever. So that's cool. What else is going on with Barbara?
Have I talked to you since I went to the reveal from that ghost hunting thing that I did?
You sent me the files, and I did listen, and I did detect that there's like some very faint, maybe a childlike voice or something that's responding. I can't make it out. You know what I mean? And I saw the video of the guy using the dowsing rods. That's what happens to me, like on this painting that Renee did for me. Like there's a spot on there, and that sucker, like I just about took my eye out one day. That's when I heard, like, gotta hold it, because it spun right around. It didn't even just like cross or like, or go like this or go like that. It just spun. And I'm all like, whoa, you could take it's all fun and games until someone loses an eye.
When we did that one, it's kind of like into a very shallow cupboard, and and the stone is the back of the hearth in the kitchen, and we were all standing in the dark, and there were 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of us in this little narrow hallway, and as he was doing it, I felt somebody next to me that was kind of crowding me out, so I kept backing up, and when I looked over to my left, it was just an area that was darker than the dark, and I figured, who is this? Who cares? They're pushing me out, but I never got pushed, but I just had the feeling that they were inching me away, and it turns out there was no one there. There was a presence there, but it wasn't a physical presence. It was a spirit, and when they did the actual reveal, they were able to amplify the EVPs so that you really could hear them, and sometimes they were sounds like boo or pff, and sometimes you got whole sentences like in one place one of the women was asking, is this where the children used to play? And the answer was, how should I know? So you don't know if we had the spirits from the time the house was built or from another generation after that. And in one place, a guy sat down in a chair and said, "Oh, this is comfy," and there was a female voice that said, "Thank you," and that to me was very clear.
And you were there. You were there live while that was going on.
Yeah.
Okay, because that was the question I had in my mind was, were you there and so you didn't hear any of this audibly, and it was just picked up by the recorder. Then is that it?
Not at all. Didn't hear a thing. And at one point, we thought we had wonderful activity, and it turned out it was a cat trying to get out the cat window. But and several times people said, "Oh, the cats are back. The cats are back." And at one point, the spirit said, "The cats are back." It was really cool. So they got a lot, and I asked them. I said, "Do you normally get this many things?" And he said, "No. Most of the time they get nothing." And so I think they're going to go back and do a couple of more investigations because certainly there are spirits there, but they're not haunting. It's just that they happen to be there.
Sure. Hey, well, there's spirits everywhere, and at least my theory on it is that, that there is here, and we're all sharing this space. It's a different dimension. And so now, just as we have human beings who are extremely sensitive, and they can either see or hear those other spirits that are around, I believe that there's some spirits that are absolutely oblivious to us, but then there's other spirits that are also able to fully see us and interact with us if they so choose. And so, like, at any given time, I feel like that that's why I always laugh when somebody calls a radio show and says, "Are there any spirits around me?"
Well, I actually have a haunted toothbrush.
I've never heard. Tell me about that.
Let me tell you. So I'm sitting in my bedroom and I'm watching TV and I hear something that sounds like someone outside using a chainsaw. And I went to the window to see who was crazy enough to be using a saw that late at night. And it wasn't outside, and I wandered around the house, and it wasn't in the kitchen, it wasn't in the dining room. And I called upstairs to my roommate, and I said, are you vacuuming or something? That there would be this buzzing. And she came downstairs and said no, and she heard it too. And we went into the bedroom and heard it there. And then she said, "Oh, it's in the bathroom." And so we went into the bathroom, and we felt the walls to see if it was coming from there. And it was finally, she said, "It's under the sink." And she goes under the sink, and here is a brand new battery-operated toothbrush in the package still, turned on.
Wow.
And so she pulled it out, and she, she took her a while to be able to turn it off through the plastic and everything. And, I hadn't been underneath the sink in a long time, so I had no idea what it was. So, we just kind of put it back in, and 4 hours later it went off again. Now this was not a slide thing. It was a button you had to really push. So it went off again, and I finally opened the package and I turned it off and I put it on a shelf, and 4 days later it went off again.
Wow.
and I can't get it open to take the batteries out of it. I cannot open it. So the damn thing goes off whenever it feels like it.
Tell it, just find a way to find my mouth while I'm, like sleeping and brush my teeth for me then.
I mean, first of all, how do you communicate with the toothbrush? And second of all, how do you figure out what spirit is doing it so you at least know who to talk to?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I mean, wouldn't you just say, okay, funny, you guys. You know what I mean? I got your message. You want me to brush my teeth more. Okay, I will. But I mean, I think that you could just do it that way, couldn't you?
I tried.
And they won't stop then?
Nope. And it's like if you have a message, if there's a message here, you give it to me. You find another way to get it through because I absolutely am not getting your buzzing.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I said I have no problem with getting a message from you if it's that important. Okie doke. But let's find another way. And I've checked with a couple of mediums, and they just look at me blankly, like, well, there is a message here, and I fine, give it to me, and have no idea what it is.
It's a prankster. It's a prankster. It's a pranker. It's a prankster ghost.
Well, the cats love it because when it goes off and they get it on the floor, it just jumps around the floor, and they think that's just so cool.
I'm surprised it doesn't freak them out. You know what I mean? And
no, they drag it around. They when it's not buzzing, they drag it around to make sure they're around when it does go off. That they are definitely in charge of it.
Well,
I wonder maybe it's another cat,
Well, it's either that or it's a spirit like that loves playing with cats. You know what I mean? Like that. I think the cats could be the key.
Could be. Well, it was spooky the first time.
Yeah, for sure. Sure. So that's a really, really interesting development.
Yes.
Very cool. I have not heard of that one. You should write that one down. You know what I mean?
I may share it. Yes.
Write that one down and keep track of it. You know what I mean? Also, pay attention. Like if I was you, I would try to pay attention to any times of day that you become aware when it does turn on and the dates. Because there might be some pattern that shows itself to you that way, too.
You're absolutely right, and you'd think that I would be intelligent enough to have done that, right? Yeah, right. That's exactly.
Well, we're always easy to tell other people what to do, hey?
Well, when it happens once, you don't think it's going to happen again. You think it's just a freak. And it's kind of like, oh, I'll write this down, and then you realize you need new batteries or something, and it's, boy, do I feel dumb. And aside from that, it's same old. Lots of cool people that I'm going to be interviewing on the show. Mm-hmm. I sent out my yearly newsletter to folks that wanted it from the website, and I gave them, I think, through August. The people that were going to be coming to get interviewed. I've got Frank Joseph, who I'm really excited about, and a ton of other people that he's an author that has written a gazillion books and so many of them on Egypt and Atlantis. He's 30 books or more, and it was really cool when I got a hold of him. He had heard of Patrick, so I had a great entree.
Right.
And his latest book is on dolphins, so which I really but I'll interview him on the dolphin book. But it's really kind of exciting to it's almost like one author turns me on to another author. And have you ever heard of the Michael material?
Yeah, kind of vaguely in my head.
There's a whole group of channelers that channel the Michael material, and I have Shepherd Wood something on Monday, who has written a book on it. And then I've got Mary Sutherland, who's written about giants, and Amelia, who has her own book out. And who else do I have? Michelle Avanti, of course, my wonderful astrologer. Renee Richards is coming on.
Because Renee Richards does everybody's show but mine.
Yeah. Well, yeah. She's going to make you really beg for it. Paul and Dan Eno, who are...
she has done my show, but I just don't like bugging her. She's busy. I like having her as a listener, you know what I mean? She's good.
Oh, yeah.
And I know that. And then
Dan Willis, who has done a whole bunch of stuff on conspiracy stuff that is fascinating. Paola Harris, who does UFO stuff and alien things. Solaris Blue Raven. Frank Joseph. Robert Sullivan, whose new book is out. Else? Oh, and Rick Osmond, who has done some really fascinating stuff on giants and stuff. That takes us into August.
Wow, good for you. That's awesome.
And, every one author will turn me on to another one, 2 or 3, and so it's really exciting.
Indeed, you do get some great guests, and Robert's another one. Robert Sharp's another one that gets really great, interesting guests on his show. And but you guys also aren't afraid to read a book either, and so that. I lost all. I used to have readers. I'd be like, "Who wants to read this book for me?" and then brief me on it, because I am so not going to read this book. You know what I mean? But I would like to have some intelligent questions to ask the person. And that kind of thing. So I'm certainly not a reader. Certainly not a reader. So listen, now we can carry on discussing and everything like that. Is that Jen Young there? I can't remember if Jen is Jen or Jen Young. Is that Jen Young, Jen? Jen. I bet it's Jen Young. And anyway, hi Jen Young, if that's you. Can somebody check on the status of the hockey game for me, please? Because I can't check. I can't keep it on my. Well, maybe I can. When my TV is recording 2 different things, it won't let me change the channel. There we go.
Yes,
2-10. Woohoo! Okay, very good. That's good. Okay, 2-0 Edmonton. Very good. Okay, now, so we can carry on talking. I do know that there's one person that was inquiring if they could get a reading. And so I don't know if you're open to doing that for the person at some point before the end of the show or not. I'm going to leave that up to you. And it is just about the top of the hour, so why don't we take a song break? And then we'll come back and we'll figure out where to go from there. What shall I play? I'm just going to scroll down and go boom. Oh, this one I haven't played in ages.
Are you looking for a place to meet like-minded people? Perhaps you're a light worker looking for a safe place to share your thoughts and services. We've got a place for you, intuitalks.com. Join for free, post updates, blogs, create and join groups via website or radio or class package. The possibilities are endless. Join the all-spiritual, all-under-one-roof network, www.intuitalks.com.
All right, we're back. And so I'm going to do a shout-out. Michelle, is that you? Did you call in, Michelle, or what's going on? Can you let me know in the chat room, or because there's an anonymous caller there, and I don't know who it is. Anonymous caller, press 1. Never mind. Who? Hello, who's this?
It's Queen. How are you? And Barbara.
Oh, hi, Queen. Wow. Holy crap. Where have you been?
I've been here and there, and now I'm here.
I've been everywhere, man. Okay, I'm going to park you, And I got all used to not, used to be that I go, oh, okay, Barbara DeLong is here, and there's that must be Queen. And so then I got out of that habit of, so here comes, okay, so then we have Queen. Barbara DeLong's our guest. Boo Boo is there. Diane in Canada. Jen in Canada. Go Oilers! And my camera keeps freezing on me again, so my computer's sluggish and slowing down on me. Marie, who's in California. And Sandy is sitting there again without listening, and who knows what she's doing. I don't understand it myself, but anyway, there you go. Michelle, are you there? Michelle's gone. Michelle left. No, Michelle's there. Michelle, can you hear me? Can you please respond to me? Because you're the person that wanted a reading, and so I'm going to give you an opportunity to call for your reading, but I'm not going to keep checking back with you. So if you're there, let me know now. Otherwise, we're going to move on. Unbelievable. Okay. Here comes Barbara. Hi, Barbara.
Hi there. I was gonna mention to you that there has been an epiphany here.
Oh.
Yeah, I've been comparing notes with a lot of my other friends that have been involved in this field for at least 20 years or more each, and it's really funny because I think you're gonna notice that a lot of us are withdrawing, not completely, but withdrawing to a great degree from doing marathon readings and stuff like that. I no longer do fairs. I no longer do stores. I just don't do them anymore. Yeah. I found that those of us that have been psychic fair people or constantly reading, doing phone readings or doing this kind of reading, it restricts us. It holds us back. It keeps us in that one energetic field, if you will, and prevents us from growing on a personal spiritual level. And of course, basically we're here to grow spiritually for ourselves and then help other people type stuff. And right. Since I've pulled back from all this other stuff, so much more spiritual stuff is coming into me on all different levels. It's just quite amazing. And the potential for stretching myself in new directions, like this stuff with the archaeology, like it's just my phone giving. That's my ego boost for the day. And I never realized that when I was doing all the fairs and everything, that was my main focus. It was reading. Do I have readings this week? How many readings am I going to do? Yada, 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 yada. And when I stopped doing that, when I backed off into, I still do private readings. I don't want anybody to think I'm not doing that. But it's more balanced. It's more, it comes and goes in a flow appropriate with my free time, and it gives me time to read all the books so that I can interview these people so that I can grow and learn from them. And it's amazing. I said to somebody once, and I didn't, it didn't really register with me. It was like, well, if you want to be a psychic and that's all you want to be, then that's fine. But there is so much more to this field. And so many people are just so focused on doing the readings and getting the money, doing the readings, did you do 20 this week? I did 25, that kind of thing. And that's not what the spiritual gift is meant to do. It's right. It's not a contest. It's a gift, and if you decide to stop there and just make money with tons of readings and stuff like that, that's fine. That's your choice. Yeah. But you're not going to grow spiritually from it because you're not stretching yourself and you're not moving in new directions for yourself. You're standing in place. And it's almost like you're standing in place with one of those change makers on your waist, And so it's check out the people that are really the good psychics out there, and you will find they are backing off. They are I've talked to about 20 or 30 of them. And people that have been in the field like I, for at least 25 years, if not 50 or more. And we're all saying, wait a minute, there's more here. We've missed something. And by pulling back, and Mary Peeler is retiring. And she won't be doing the readings anymore. She'll probably still be doing galleries, but she's not going to be doing readings after, I think, the 27th of May. And she just wants to be able to use her gifts in a different way. And so many get caught up in this reading frenzy. And I mean, if you're spiritually oriented and you're a psychic, you can read, but that is not why you have that gift.
Mm-hmm.
So,
yeah,
so that's my epiphany.
There you go. So now the other person that was asking about a reading isn't responding to me, so we're going to just bypass that altogether. But you want to talk to Queen for a bit here?
Sure.
Okay. As if you're going to say no, right? No, I don't want to talk to her. Hi, Queen.
She has free will to do what she wishes, and I know she would. Hi, Chris. Long time, like you said. I'm doing fine. I'm very gratefully able to say that in my truth. I'm doing fine now.
Good. Awesome.
So, how has your life been?
Pretty darn good, I'd say. I haven't won any lotteries or anything, but you know what I mean? I'm still here. I keep on cutting myself and stabbing myself, which isn't a good thing. I don't understand that, but there must be a reason.
Be more careful. I had that phase too. Maybe it was happening around the same time. Yeah, I'm like, okay, well, I really do have blood inside of me. I'm convinced.
Yeah, for sure. This one here, when I cut myself, you can't see I cut myself here. That bled hard. I did that one while I was on the show, and Corrine made me go start my supper, so I was brushing, and I chopped it, and I'm like, oh my God, that went down to the bone, and I'm just like, oh my God. The other night I was like rushing to get a potato in the microwave oven, and I'm stabbing the potato like that, to put the holes in it, prick it or whatever, and I missed, and it went straight into the palm of my hand, and I'm like, oh my God. And that really, 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 I was like, okay, Jesus Christ, I kind of only have a small idea of what that felt like for you,
Does self-mutilation run in your family?
I know, right? I don't know, because I don't talk to them,
Oh, boy. Yeah, you got me beat. I was doing things to myself, but, not to that level. I went outside today in my garden, and I had chopped down some rose bushes, cut them back quite a while ago, and they had dried out and everything. And because I didn't move them, didn't I stick myself in the foot with one of the thorns? But they're gone now, so, we just got to be more careful. That's just that.
Yeah, for sure. Absolutely.
Yes.
Indeed.
I'd like to think that we're working interdimensionally, and that quite often when those errors occur, that maybe we have just sort of slipped into another dimension and lost track of what we were doing in this dimension.
Then we must learn to balance that out, because I don't care for some of the experiences that I've taken myself through, because I wasn't paying full attention on multi-level dimensions, which I have the capacity to. And I just have to, say, boom, I'm going to do it like that.
Yeah. No, it is interesting that as we get older, we do sort of in moments of quietude drift into those other dimensions easily. And of course, most of us don't write stuff down, and most of us don't journal what's going on in our heads, but it's really quite beautiful. And I found, you talk to people that are in nursing homes or even that have dementia or an early stage dementia, they do it easily, and it's so much fun to talk to them because they really are seeing.
I knew that's where you were going. Dementia, Alzheimer's. I refuse to label myself with that.
No, I don't think. No, I'm not saying that you have that, but I'm saying that it's more easy for them to float into those different dimensions, and you can sit and talk to them, and they can tell you what they're seeing, and they're actually seeing something in another dimension.
No doubt. Those that are so-called mentally handicapped, or so-called crazy people, they have that experience on a regular level. So speaking of that, Barbara, you sent out an email, I assume, but I'll make sure that you got my response, that I was interested in being a part of the remote viewing experience. You called it meditation. I see it as remote viewing.
It is. Yeah, did you get the second notice I sent out about, being on Blog Talk and having Google Earth on your computer and everything?
No, I didn't. But I get so many emails that, it's like that. But I'll look for it and see. But I can get Google Earth. That's not a.
Yeah, because I sent out a whole nother. I sent out a notice to everyone that was on the list, and I'm looking now because I remember you said you were interested, and I'm fairly certain that I put you in the group, and it was a mass mailing of course. Let me see. What? Okay, I don't think you were signed up as queen, though, were you? Did you sign up as queen?
Maybe Creations of Opulence, because if you put it in there with the email, that's how it would be.
Okay. Pretty sure. Yeah, I've got you. Creations of Opulence, yeah. That's sent out to you.
It probably, you got, who knows what happened to it. But now I know. And I also connected with someone, and maybe a few other someones who might be, they'd be interested, but who might actually partake in that as well because of their interest in the culture. And, so if it's all right, I would like to connect you with them.
Sure, just give them my email so I can get them kind of caught up with everybody else, because next Thursday between 3 and 5 will be the first time we all get together, or as many of us that can will get together so we can talk about it, and Bill and I can explain what we're going to be doing, and it'll be on a private Blog Talk show.
I'm excited to do this.
I am too. I've always had a fascination with Egypt, and didn't like the thought of scorpions or a lot of sand in my underwear. So it's not really a place that I have on my map of I must go there. But it and if you didn't get that email, send me a notice and I'll send you a copy of it again. But there's something very special about Egypt. But I guess part of it is because, of course, that's where the material for Thoth, kind of ends up and stuff like that. And so that fascination is in there too with the emerald tablets. So to be able to go into the tomb of Osiris, which the actual tomb of Osiris has not yet been discovered, but Bill thinks he has it GPS'd. And there are a couple of replicas of it in a couple of other places that are mock-ups of the temple, so we know kind of what it's like. And there are hidden compartments and secret rooms that we're going to try to identify when we go into the meditation.
That's very good. I'm excited, and I might add that it might be even more beneficial to use the actual Nadu Metta, the actual wording of instead of Osiris, which you all gonna do what you want to do anyway. But it's Asar, instead of using names that have been changed by other cultures that have come in and changed the names to suit themselves in order to connect with that energy. It just might be better. I'll be asking for Asar myself. But it's also interesting too, because I have the connection with Egypt, Kemet is very strong within me. But just to have the opportunity to be a part of this collective, we could actually get hired later on.
I kind of haven't said that to people, but I would anticipate that's exactly what's going to happen. And Bill Brown is a really cool man, but he gets lost in meditation so fast it's unbelievable. So, and he has, if you haven't seen his website, I would look at it I did an interview with him, and his website is on the interview page. If you go to my website and click on the show that was with Bill Brown, in the write-up for it has all that information. He has developed, do you remember when we all went around with pyramids on our heads a long time ago?
I didn't have one on my head, but I still had one I sat under. So yeah,
okay.
I was there.
Okay, well, he has developed a new geometric form that's made up of 12 pyramids, and it has amazing energy, and he's built some that you can sit in to meditate or do massages in, or he has smaller ones that he's a master carpenter among other things, and the energy that they emit goes out probably a good 5 to 10 feet from the object itself. So it's an amazingly powerful energy transmitter, and enables people to kind of expand their consciousness, which is the point of all of this. So it's and the fact that, of course, the Great Pyramid was really for initiation, and working around the pyramid at the different sites that are on the Giza Plateau, all of which had something to do with the element of initiation. They did not really have to do with burials at all. So it's going to be fascinating to see how people react to the energy, and how even a day or two or three afterwards, I highly suspect people will continue to get information even after we're all done with what we're doing. So I'm hoping that they will continue to write down and send us their notes so we can put it all together and then share it with everyone so everybody can see what everybody else got.
Yes, that's really going to be fascinating. The name of a couple of remote viewers has really slipped my mind, but it will come back to me. That might be worth looking into some of the things that they have done. There's one person, maybe it'll come to me while I'm speaking, but he was doing this like 25 years ago, and they had done some marvelous things, and they actually were able to compare notes and really validate that they had been to these particular, wherever they chose to go, and that it'll come to me. So when it does, I will share that. But yeah, I'm excited about it. This is good in terms of using the energy that you were speaking of, utilizing it wisely. This is another way to use our gifts to remote view and to astral travel, and even doing it in our sleeps, because those who can't be there can be there later. It feels good. It feels right. So that's really why I called in. Of course, I'd love a reading, but that's really why I called in, to make sure we had had this time to connect, and so that I'd be able to bring some of the other people on board that might want to.
Yeah, just give them my email and have them write me, and I will catch them up on all the information. And that's what I like best about it. If you're not free at that particular point in time, that doesn't mean you can't be a part of the group, because the group is going to be there in archive, and you can just blend right in with the group energy and go ahead and do the whole thing right with the group in archive.
Beautiful.
Energy is energy.
Without a doubt. And it's waiting for us to tap into it, from then is now. And now is then.
Yeah, and that plateau is amazing. And I kind of am fascinated about, personally, I'm fascinated about some of one of the chambers under the Sphinx. I'm fascinated about some of the other chambers that are there on different levels, because there are, from what I understand, there are 3 different levels of structures that are under the Giza Plateau, so that it appears that perhaps three different cultures or 3 different time frames, or that there were structures put at 3 different time frames underneath the plateau. So you don't know if it how far back they go, and none of them are tombs. That's what I'm so fascinated by. None of them are tombs. According to one woman archaeologist, there is a chamber down there that's as big as, and it's a while back since I heard her talk, but as big as at least 16 football fields. Oh. And it's an empty space, and it was for storage of some sort. And some people were saying, well, it was, extraterrestrials, and it might have been, or it might have been storage for food. Case of droughts, it could have been. I have no idea. And some of the there are many labyrinths of tunnels, and they go all over the place. So, kind of like, who did them and why? Why were they underground? Why couldn't they just, take a hike on the sand? But are you back, Chris?
Yeah. I was going to be in trouble if I coughed. You know what I mean?
With who?
Okay.
Well, with my bladder. I was going to be in trouble with my bladder.
Oh, well, that's important, without a doubt.
Absolutely. Yeah, I hate those coughs. It's kind of, you get to a point in time when those kinds of coughs just do you in, and you're over 20 and 30 and 40.
Yeah, exactly. So are you guys done, or what did I miss?
Oh,
you
everything.
Missed a lot.
Jeez.
You'll have to catch it in archive. We were talking about all of the different levels of structures that are under the plateau, and it's kind of, I'm getting back into fascination with pyramids, because the Bosnian pyramid is one that I was fascinated with, and that one, the energy source there seems to be the sun. And if the Great Pyramid was meant to be an initiation chamber, and the capstone was the kind of the battery operated, the whatever it was that was going to channel the energy, you kind of wonder if couldn't we replace whatever that mechanism was and utilize the chamber for initiations yet again. It was a healing facility, I think, from what Bill is saying, that basically most of these structures were focused on healing. And, they go way back beyond the 15,000 years that has been labeled on them, the element of how old are they? They're far more ancient than we know. And if you look at the tombs in the Valley of the Kings, and you look at how they are decorated with all of the pictographs and all of the hieroglyphs and and all of the materials that are put in the tombs from those that are still not robbed, but there are a couple that are just amazingly huge that had I think it was one of Ramses. I'm not sure. One of the Ramses. He had places for his entire family and generations of it. They're still uncovering most of that one, and so there is a big difference between a tomb and what pyramid structures are for, and the pyramids, especially at Giza, were absolutely not meant to be burial chambers. They were initiation chambers of some sort, dealing with energy.
I agree, and they still are. They still are to this day, and people utilize them, and we're about to utilize them as initiation and healing and wisdom bringers and many, many other things and connections to the other realms. And
here's the really cool thing that anyone who can do remote viewing or astral travel can go there and take advantage of the energy.
Yeah.
Of course.
I think that's something that so many of us, we're so caught into the physical reality, we forget that we have the ability to do things like remote viewing and like astral traveling, and you can put yourself in those energies and allow them to surround you. You can blend in with the energy field that's there. You don't have to be physically present in order to get the kind of energy surge and the transcendence of awareness from the energy field that is there. You can just go there. And most people think, oh, I can't meditate like Chris. It's a sense of relaxing into the energy and not thinking and focusing on something. You don't have to have a mantra that you chant. You don't have to light candles. You don't have to, sage yourself and purify yourself. I mean, the element of astral travel or any sort of spiritual work is something that is absolutely natural to us as entities on this planet. And it's a matter of working with our consciousness, not prayer, not ritual, none of that. It's something that is as natural to us as walking on water. Well, I can do it if it's frozen. I'm still working on it when it thaws.
Well, that's the beginning. At least you know you can do it.
Absolutely.
In some form.
But it's not. I think most people tend to make spirituality a religious practice, and it's not. It's something that is as natural to us as breath itself. Yeah. And it's a gift that we bring into this lifetime, no matter what religion or culture or ethnicity we are. Everybody has it, and everybody can be trained to use it if they take the time to work with it. And it does not require any level of intelligence. It doesn't matter how many levels of school you have. It's a consciousness thing, and everyone is capable of doing all of this stuff. And that's what makes me angry when people think you have to take classes or you have to be instructed or you have to. It's a bunch of crap.
Yeah.
But Barbara, some people do because of the way they think. Some people do have to take classes. Some people do, because of the way they process information or the way, just who they are and where they're at and how they have been so programmed. That's just the way, bless you, just the way, from my perspective. Now, you and I have come to the understanding of the freedom of being able to travel through life, and it could have easily come with wisdom. Although children, know that they can do these things as well, more naturally. But people are so deeply programmed. And you were saying something that triggered something in me in terms of being able to go to Kemet. It might be advisable, at least if this is what's coming to me to do, because there are gatekeepers. There are gatekeepers who have particular names, and I said about the names before, and like open sesame to get through. Yes, we can go. We can go. We can physically go. We can, we can transcend. We can travel in our dreams. But there are the keys, the Ankh, the life, the eternal life symbol. There are keys, and since it being temples of initiation, you have to. Well, my awareness is telling me, in order to be even more successful than just going and not going with what I know to be true for me. There are names of the gatekeepers, and to know their names, like you say, Thoth. Well, Thoth again is another name that has been changed to Huti, would be the name that would be known. I'm just saying that's what.
Yeah, no, and that this brings me to how is that different than the very first basic step of us talking about how. And before you called, Barbara and I were talking and going like, that we, we have only the limitations that we place on ourselves. And, so now if you feel that there's gatekeepers, that you have to know their name and you have to do a certain thing to get past them, then that will be your experience. But if I don't.
I agree.
And so if I don't, then I'm assuming I can waltz right through whenever I want because I don't.
Maybe you can, maybe you can't, because there are rules of the universe. There are rules of nature, and Kemet is very much based in nature, and there are rules. If you don't water the plant, it's going to die. If you don't do certain things, there are certain principles that one must follow in terms of, that one must adhere to in order to accomplish certain things. Now, that I know to be truth, and it's just what's coming to me now to say. People are going to do what they want to do to get there anyway. But as we were communicating, it's just, again, open sesame. If you don't have the right tonal, if you don't go with the right energy, if you don't go with the right spirit, you can go. You might be traveling and fall to the ground, or you might encounter, because just like on the earth plane, as we're traveling, just like on the earth plane, there are tricks and traps and things that you need to be aware of. And if you don't, go ahead.
That's very, very true. But do understand, too, that everyone is unique, and everyone has their own method and their own way and their own needs and qualifications for the evolution of the spirit this lifetime. And Queen, what you're saying is absolutely true for you. And you will respect it and you will go by it. And we're in different places in evolution, so that for some, where you go is a place that they don't even know about exists, and yet they will do what is appropriate for them at that particular point in time. It's like with the spiritual development circle that we did. One person was talking about having to achieve 7 different levels of this until she got to the place where she could talk to her spirit. And I said to her, if you believe you need to go through these 7 different stages, then that's what you need to do. I frankly would prefer to just talk directly to my higher consciousness. And whatever is right for each individual is exactly what is going to happen to them. I mean, you come from a place where you are deeply set in the traditions of that culture, of that time, of that area. Other people aren't, and so what you would consider transformational transition and awareness expansion is very different than what somebody who is just beginning would think of what expansion is. So that everybody is going to be at their, working at their own level in their own way and using the energy in different ways. And that's the beauty of having so many people involved, because you have so many different levels of awareness that are going to be pulling material in to give to us.
I agree. I agree with what you're saying, and actually I only said it because it came for me to say, and people will do, as I said, people will do as they will anyway. But I saw a vision of, since we're going into these temples, I saw a vision of gatekeepers. I mean, very, very clearly you spoke of what do you call them, Osiris, and going into these places. There are different aspects of us, no doubt. We are all.
I would think also there are different dimensions that we'll be seeing. That
I agree.
That some are going to see different dimensions. They're going to be. It's almost like looking at a picture, and some people are able to see to the very bottom of where the color is, and some people are only able to see the top. And it's a matter of where the consciousness is. But no matter where we are, we will be further along when we get done than when we started, which is the cool part.
I agree.
There may be 30 or 40 people that are going to be doing this, and everyone will be at a different place, but we'll be there together. No, yeah. That sounds weird, but
no, I can relate. It brings to mind a few other things. One funny thing you were talking, it hits me funny about the inside of the temples or the pyramids, is that they call the smallest aspects of many of them the Queen's chambers, and it makes me laugh because I say, the feminine, the queens, to have the smallest chamber is ridiculous. We like to acquire things. We like to mass together things, and that just hits me so funny. I said the distortion of, the reality of who we are.
Don't forget, men name these chambers.
There's a whole lot of things that are coming to mind in terms of, I'm excited about this, and I'm looking forward to being a part of it, and hopefully some of my people who are.
Everybody is welcome. Everybody, every extra person that's there adds to the energy of the total group. So everybody is absolutely welcome, and it's going to be exciting. It's going to be very exciting, and actually in this case, the more the merrier. The more energy we have to work with, the more insight we get, the more expansive everything is going to become. And with greater energy, everybody gets to go another level too. So, and on top of everything else, everybody will get a great high out of it. So,
well, that'll be fun.
That's the cool part.
Oh.
Yes.
That will be very interesting. I think a good there's every possibility of an excellent almost diary or something to come out of this. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that would be.
That's why that magazine, when they said that they're publishing the invitation on, I think their magazine goes out the 21st of June. So we will be about a month ahead of it. But certainly people can come in at any point. There's no those who are at the very beginning will a meditation, when the same person leads the meditation each time, becomes a form of hypnosis.
Mm-hmm.
And so that those that hear it the most will be most comfortable with going into my voice and into the procedure and into wherever I send them. And new people will just, get used to it and then flow into it, as is their comfort zone. There's everyone is welcome. I just am not doing it as a public show because I didn't want people to think I was doing readings and interrupt the whole thing. So it's private, and you have to have a commitment to a certain degree to it. It is, you are offering 2 hours at least of your time a week, which is so kind of everyone, so that we are very, very grateful for the participation of everyone. And just to see if we can, Bill is more scientifically oriented than I am. I am more spiritually oriented than he is, yet we both respect the other. So this is a nice balance of science and metaphysics, and he is into the meditation and everything as well. So, but his figures and his calculations are all, I don't understand a damn thing he's talking about. He has charts that have arrows all over the place and all sorts of shapes and angles and everything, and I don't understand it at all. But assures me that he has marked out 33 places. I have the map. I know he has, and he just has to give me the GPS, and I have the GPS of the first one. So we're all set to go almost. I just have to make sure that everybody is connected appropriately, and we'll be fine. And next week, a week from tomorrow, will be our first meeting, and everybody hopefully will be able to. Those who can tune in will, and everybody on the phone and in the chat room and comfortable with what's going on, and Bill and I will talk a little bit and answer whatever questions there are. And the following week, we will do the very first one.
That would be awesome. Awesome! And people who are participants will be able to go and check the archive, right?
Absolutely. And they will also have access to whatever, those who share their notes with us, it'll all be put together along with Bill's and my interpretation of what we got as well, and we'll share that information back with everybody.
The person who I'm trying to remember his name, and it didn't come back to me yet, he's a scientist too, and became very much appreciative of the metaphysical world, having made contact with aliens and such. People said he had made friends with people from other planets and things of that nature. So yeah, remote viewing is going to be really, really, really.
It's going to be from the how do I put it? Sometimes from the mundane to the magical. It's going to go the full spectrum.
Yes,
we'll get people that just see sand, and we'll get people that see all sorts of mysteriously wonderful things. And somewhere in between is going to be where, we see a logical trail of something. I'm looking forward to it. I think it is an opportunity to really experience magic of some sort. And and to whatever level you're open to magic is where it's going to happen. And on top of everything else, for those people who don't meditate at all, it gives them one meditation a week, which is a cool thing to have too.
Absolutely. Mm-hmm. I agree with that. I mean, I'm thinking about, because having so many different people who might have different sensitivities and different abilities, different areas of interest, different reasons for doing it. There may be some that are more along the mediumship route, and maybe they want to try and connect with some of the workers that built the thing. You know what I mean? Or some will want to connect with some of the ones that were entombed there, you know what I mean? And then others, you never know. Like they may even go back before the pyramids were there. Just exactly. the land that was there, you know what I mean? Because the land retains that as well. And so, what occupants were there before? And so I think that having that many different people with, potentially all of these different abilities and whatnot, it might be for a very interesting outcome, more than just what people are expecting.
Absolutely. I expect people to have all sorts of amazing experiences in the days that follow the meditation. And the other thing that I know will happen, but I'm not sure how it will manifest, is I have found that when I work with another person, like when I work with Jen, for a couple days afterwards, I'm smelling all sorts of weird stuff all over the place, and she's going into past lives where she didn't before. So there is a sharing of abilities, so that I am absolutely positive that because of all the good energy that's there, it will enhance everyone's talents wherever they are and take them another peg or two further, without the intention of that happening, just because there is the blending of the energy and everybody can drink from the soup that we make.
Delicious.
Yes, it's so cool. And that I think is a perk that probably most people won't notice at first, but after a couple of weeks, I will bet you money everybody notices a change in their life to some degree.
Yeah. And they may just spontaneously then start going in their own dreams without even intending. Once they've been there, you know what I mean? They may have.
And when you stop and think, we have people in Australia, South Africa, Great Britain, all over the U.S. I mean, we have people from all walks of life. We have people of all persuasions. And the cool thing about this is, because it is radio, you don't see anybody. All you have is a voice energy and a sharing of the energies as we're in meditation, so that there's no judgment, there's no nothing. It's really
What you talking about, Barbara? What you talking about, Barbara? You don't see people. Some people are going to see people. I couldn't help you. Some people.
Of course they are, but it's really, there's no judgment. There's a voice energy and just the voice energy, and that's the beauty of it. There's no, oh, you're this culture, or you're that culture, or you're this ethnicity, or you're that, or you're a male, or you're female, or you're a he, she, or a whatnot. I mean, it doesn't matter. It's just energy. Oh, Prince Philip is dead.
Oh, really?
He's dude, D-O-E-D. I think she means dead.
Wow.
Yeah. Amy Kavanaugh just said there was an emergency meeting at Buckingham Palace, and now she says Prince Philip is dude.
Wow. Dude. Hey, dude, where's your car? Dude, where's your car?
Sorry, it's not funny.
Well, I mean, he's going to the other world. If he is, I mean, he's on his way. He's going to be on a trip.
He's probably relieved, quite frankly. You know what I mean? He's probably finally. Oh my God!
Yeah. Is that the one that was married to Diana, who's probably waiting for him with a rolling pin? I couldn't read.
No. This is Elizabeth's husband.
Queen's husband.
Oh, he's old. Oh, he's really old.
Yeah, could you imagine being married to her for all those years? Oh my God.
No.
I think they had a very happy marriage. I really do. Not my kind of happy, but they had a good marriage.
This is the one that was married to the Queen. Is that?
Yes.
Oh.
He's like, hallelujah! Okay. I'm free at last. Hallelujah!
Okay. Yeah, he was due. He was due to go. I mean, his time was up.
Rest in peace, there, buddy. You did your time.
Yes. Wow. dude.
The end of
It's
the end of a whole time frame and
Dynasty.
culture.
Well, now we'll see, like, because theoretically, often with these long-term, if they really did love each other and all this kind of stuff, maybe she'll go next real quick because, that happens a lot. That happens a lot.
It does.
Yeah.
Especially when they're close. And
we'll see. Just she'll take 50 years now.
Wow.
Seems
but
such a mean. Doesn't seem like
have to be. Go ahead.
She doesn't seem like a fun chick to hang around. You know what I mean?
No, she doesn't. She's very stern. She appears to be very stern. And even if it wasn't love as we think about love, which is subjective, just the fact that they were together could, she could go just because she was a habit that she couldn't break.
I think she's very much like Victoria. I think there was a deep love there, but I don't think that their culture and their upbringing permitted them to show emotion. Forget she was, she was bred to be queen. Well, she wasn't, but.
But you know how you're used, the way that you spend the most of your life, you wear that on your face, right? And so it seems to me that even in her private time, she was a little on the cranky side. You know what I mean? It seems to me. And I'm not trying to diss the queen. I'm just saying, and that's because of how she was raised, I'm sure. You know what I'm saying? I'm not trying to,
No, when you're raised so that you are going to be in the public eye every moment of your life, that's got to be. I mean, frankly, I think there are moments in my life that I would rather the public didn't know about, and
I heard that.
and everybody knows everything that went on in her family, and that's and there's so much tradition that she has tried to uphold that just is not going to pass on to the next generation. And so it's a changing of the guard, literally, once she steps down.
Yeah, exactly. It is. So, wow, that's a shocker. Wonder what happens. Wonder what happens.
Would go first.
Wonder what happens when he meets up with Diana on the other side now.
They'll find
They
out
might
who
have
really
been cool.
killed her.
Yeah.
They might have been cool. Who knows? I don't know.
Yeah. Oh, no, I think he was a cool guy. I think he was a decent guy. I really do.
Well, is it true? I wonder, is Prince Charles being looked at for the murder of Diana?
Oh, really?
Her husband?
Yeah.
He definitely didn't want to be married because he wanted that other one.
No, the problem was that because of who she was dating and his religion and all that kind of thing, there was that whole problem. You know what I mean? Like that's the theory anyhow.
They say that the brakes of that car had been tampered with. So.
Yeah. I remember that night, man. I remember that night. It wasn't long after my car accident, and I was, struggling still with quite a lot of pain and migraines and all that, and I tried to go to bed way earlier than usual, and I just couldn't get to sleep until or if I dozed off, but I woke up and I just got up and went downstairs and turned the TV on, and poof, there she was still alive at that moment. Theoretically, she was being taken. She was en route to the hospital at that moment, and so theoretically she was still alive. But I was very, very saddened by that. And if it was with all the conspiracy theories about everything that happens to any famous person anymore, like it starts to get to be where, everything, nothing can just be an accident anymore, hey? And in any case, like there were other factors, like the drunk driver, right?
Yeah.
And then like the paparazzi chasing like that, and being reckless with that, and again that goes to the driver, because I mean, unless the people in the car who paid him were saying speed up and hurry up and shake them and this and that, he was obviously, even if he was not drunk, he was still not driving safely for the conditions and the being in that tunnel and everything, right?
Oh, absolutely. It's
so, I mean, it could be then does somebody say, oh, that they just paid that guy off to do the suicide mission and take care of his family for the rest of their life, or because then if you agree that somebody, either the Queen or Charles or whoever, it could be too. You know how like when we talk about the American government or whatever, like there might be a lot of things that the government are doing that the president has no idea about. You know what I mean?
Yes, there are. There are. This president doesn't know what the heck is going on, but go ahead.
No, but I'm just saying, like, look at the Kennedy assassination and all of that kind of stuff. Like there are other factions within the hierarchy. And so it didn't have to necessarily be the Queen or Charles per se, but it could have been, who knows, you know what I mean? It could have been some other faction that just had their problems with it. So, but now and then I get frustrated because, like, when can an accident not just be an accident, And there's always got to be some conspiracy to everything, even freaking tornadoes anymore. A tornado can't even happen without being a freaking conspiracy. And and so it kind of gets a little bit, and it becomes, boy who cried wolf and that kind of a thing in a way with me. You know what I mean? Like you get to the point where you're like, it's ridiculous, and you don't buy into any of it. Like, I'm fully on board with the idea that there's something really bad, fishy going on with the whole 9/11 stuff. Definitely. You know what I mean? Like like that. And the one thing I rely on the most with that is, these people were vaporized. You know what I mean? And like all of a sudden, one of the pilot's birth certificates just wafts gently down to land right on top of some ashes, and it's fully readable, and you know what I mean.
And a Secret Service man picks it up. Yeah.
Yeah, I have a real problem with that. With how it's possible. And so,
it is far-fetched.
Yeah. So, but anyway, that's sad. That's sad to know. Thanks for letting us know.
I just read it. It was in the chat room.
Yeah, Amy. I said, Amy, thanks for letting us know, Amy.
Yeah.
Who's the cell phone Idaho? Push 1 on your phone. Cell phone ID. Cell phone Idaho. Hello, who's that?
It's Lorraine. Hello. How are you?
Oh, hi. Where are all these people coming out from the woodwork and everything all of a sudden? How you doing, Lorraine?
I'm doing good. I enjoy listening to your laugh, Chris. You're pretty dang funny.
Well, even when I'm talking about some tragic death, eh?
Yes, you just have something about your giggle, I tell you.
Well, I appreciate that, and maybe I think that when I die, I think that there will be people that will be the thing that they'll say, oh, remember her laugh, that kind of thing. And
you know what we'll do? We'll get that recording you did of all the people laughing, and we'll play it at your funeral.
There you go. I'm not having a funeral. You guys will have to have like a pretend pretend show. Yeah, do a show just like me. Pretend one.
Are you planning on leaving soon, Chris? I mean, do you have any projections or what?
I don't have it's not in my day timer yet. You know what I mean?
That's good.
Yeah, but I don't have a day timer either. But anyway, no, I'm just saying that would be that. I think that would be the thing that people would probably say more than anything. Those that like me, those that don't, they'll be like, "Thank God that bitch is finally dead," you know. But I think even the people I used to work with and everything, they'll be like, "Oh my God," because whenever I've been gone, even if I went on holidays, I'd go back to work. "Oh my God, we so missed her laugh, and it's been so quiet around here." I'm like, "Oh, so you're saying I'm a big mouth, loud mouth person? You're right." You know. And but it was always the laugh, and the laugh would. I remember there was a lady that was in charge of the HR at one of the reserves out here, and she was like ice woman, ice queen. And so I was going to go have a meeting with her, and my admin assistant was all like, "Well, have fun with that," you know what I mean? That would not be a definition of a fun date, you know? And I'm all like, "Oh, you watch what happens. I'm going to have her laughing." And so anyways, I had the meeting, and I go back to the office, and I'm like, "Oh, that was a piece of cake. I had her laughing within 5 minutes or something like that." Eh? I'm sure that my admin assistant was saying, "Oh, easy for you to just say that, you know." But then the lady came to our office, and we had a meeting here with our whole team. And the first thing she said was, "Oh, I had I never laughed that hard in my life." And I looked over at my admin assistant. There you go. In case you doubted me.
And so, sometimes that's all people need is to make them smile a little, and they'll come out of the woodwork.
No, it is true. And some of the best compliments, that connect with me or make me feel the best that I get about the show are when people tell me, "Oh, I've had such a worse day, and I came to your show, and my energy is totally different now, and I feel so much better, and it's just from being able to laugh and have a little bit of fun." And so, that's good. That's the best. Not like that, "Oh, you taught me how to chase a ghost out of my house," or or anything. You know what I mean? Which we do here too, but but yeah, that means a lot to me when we have people that say, "Oh, you really made, I was really so down, and I totally feel great now." So those are the best compliments about the show.
I feel after when I leave, I always feel better. I mean, I do. I feel like I get answers, and I feel better. And
yeah. So what have you been up to, Miss Lorraine?
Well, I have a lot going on in my life, and I just thought I haven't spoke with Barbara before, and I thought just the part I've listened to, she seems interesting, and I thought maybe she could give me some insight on what's going on.
Well, here's the thing. It's late for Barbara's on Eastern time, and so it's after midnight. It's after midnight now for her, and so you've called at the end of the show. Is basically what it is.
Okay.
So what you should do is check with us next time. Barbara's on first Wednesday of every month. And
fine.
And so the other thing you could do is Amy's here tomorrow, but Friday, I don't think you've ever talked to. Have you ever talked to Selva from Australia?
Yes, I have, and actually, she's one of my Facebook friends.
Oh, is she? Okay, good.
Yes,
okay, so there you go. Really, she's been here that long because it feels like it's been months since I talked to you.
I know it has. Well, it has been a long time, and that's what I mean. I got a lot going on.
I hadn't realized that Salva's been with me that long, though. You know what I mean? Like, so time is flying way too fast. And then I go, well, shit, it's May already.
Yeah.
You know?
No, that's what I think.
Unbelievable.
Well, so, that's okay.
Okay, so
well,
check out the calendar on CuriousTimes.ca. It always shows who the guests are that are coming up. Like not just the calendar in the upper right hand, but scroll down a little bit on the page, and it says I've got the names of whoever is guesting on each of those nights, and so you can keep your eye on that and call in a little bit earlier. And then we'll be able to help you out. Okay.
Yeah, I should have. I mean, I guess I just assumed because I read it and I thought it said that it was going to run till, I was thinking you were Eastern time, but you're not. You're not. I don't know why I was thinking that.
We do show it for 3 hours, but the guest is generally here for the 2 hours, and then we leave open for a possibility of having an extra hour of just hangout time. You know what I mean?
Okay. Okay.
You should know this by now that we have overtime.
I know.
Yeah. And so the first 2 hours is business with the guest, and then if we hang out for the third hour, it's just usually chilling with the villains,
Yeah. Well, that's just fine. I appreciate just the time that I called in then, and
I'm glad to hear your voice again. That's good. I'm glad that we got to touch base. I always go like, where are these people? You know what I mean? And they went and they screwed off on us. Now they don't need us no more. You know what I mean?
Oh no, we still need you.
Right on. That's good. That's good. I need to be needed, because otherwise there's no use for me to serve, And that's good.
Yeah,
that's good.
I'm trying to. I just figured that when my husband's out of town and I get to bed early, I always think, well, I'm gonna give Chris a call, and usually I fall asleep, and then today actually I got a nap in, so I'm up a little later.
Cool. That's good. Well, like I said, keep an eye on that calendar, and of course you know that I post the show every night before it starts on my Facebook, so you can see who's coming on that night too, that way. And we'll get you into everything really soon if you call. Okay?
Okay, Chris. Well, you have a good night.
Thanks, Lorraine. Take it easy. Nice to talk to you again.
You too. Okay.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Be good. Okay.
No, that's...
Oops, sorry. Quick trigger finger. That's why you never give a Canadian a gun. And so, Barbara, I guess Queen, we lost Queen along the way. It wasn't my intention to bump Queen off. I just thought maybe someone wanted to join in on the conversation. And so anyway, so tell people again where they can find your show and where they can find your website.
Okay, the website is www.barbara.delong.com. The show is on freedomslips.com. It's called Nightlight, 10 o'clock Eastern every Monday night. And if they want to be part of the meditation group, Star Points, they can email me at barbara.delong.com, and I'll be happy to get them hooked up and included in the group.
Perfect. Awesome. Thank you. So we'll see you again in a month's time. And well, by then we'll be able to maybe get some feedback for those people that aren't participating. We'll be able to hear a little bit from you about how it's all going.
That should be fun. Looking forward to that.
Me too. Okay, so I'm going to probably send you an email too, just to see, maybe I'll jump onto your list and see what happens if I try, okay?
Sure.
I'll write that down or I'll forget. Because I'm now highly psychic, a well-known psychic medium now, Barbara. You know what I mean?
I know.
Like first and last name, just like that. First and last name, bingo. Okay.
Chris, I would retire while you're ahead.
I I know. I did. I said that I gotta quit while you're ahead. You know, like you hang up the hockey skates when you're at your top of your game, not when you're no good bum anymore. You know what I mean? So anyway,
exactly.
Okay, go and have your supper, and we'll talk to you again soon.
Okay,
thanks.
Bye bye.
Take care. Okay, guys, I think that we're probably done because I don't see anybody hanging out that's going to come and call in. People dropping like flies. And so let me get my quit page ready. So tomorrow we have the great Amy Kavanaugh here, though. And so Buckingham Palace has told One News an emergency meeting is not to announce the death of either queen, but the rest of the world is saying he's dead. Oh. So maybe he's not dead? Maybe he's not dead. Maybe he's not. We killed him off before he was ready to go. Prince Philip dead? Let me go. Prince Philip dead? Question mark. Death speculation. Prince Philip not dead. They said that an hour ago. And Prince Philip dead. Rumor spread. Causes Prince Philip concern. Not dead, they said. I'm going to go on that he's not dead. Welcome back to the world there, Prince Philip. So he must still be alive. I was like sad because as soon as I turned the channel to the hockey game, it went from 2-0 to 2-1 and then to 2-2, and I'm afraid now to go back. And I can't watch it now. Continue recording. I must have two shows now being recorded. So anyway, I'm gonna go and try and figure out what is going on. Oh, they have. Maybe he's dead, but they have to get time to make his fake double so that he can stay alive. Right, Amy? And then it can be he really did die, but they did a quick plastic surgery on some dude named Fred. And now Fred is Prince Philip. No worries, because neither of them slept with the Queen anyway. And there's no hanky-panky. The Queen doesn't do hanky-panky, I don't think, you know? And so anyway, okay. Well, we'll go all find the news and figure it out. Thank you, Amy. We'll see you tomorrow, Amy. I hope you're feeling good and well rested for tomorrow. And looking forward to our show tomorrow. And so I want to thank everybody for joining us, Barbara in particular, and all you guys listening. Thank you very much. I get to go have a little bit of an early supper. Yay! So we're gone in 3, 2, 1. See you guys.